Sunny ways, my friends, sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again, because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared. I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of water out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of thing. Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Where's the funds?
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. Welcome into The Fringe if it's your first time. Rando stream tonight. Get those LFGs in the chats, guys. Get those thumbs up. I know it's a late night stream. We're probably not going to see the audience we usually see on these live streams, but hit that thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're in the multi-stream, come on over to YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. Let's get it out there in the algorithm for everybody. Let's allow some people to get in here before we start talking about the meat of this stream. Let's do a good old-fashioned roll call. Yes, we'll keep it limited. Don't worry. We're not going to bore everybody out. Chime in. Let me know where you're watching from. If it's your first time here, let me know. Xylo, it is not. I don't troll the chat. Let's get it going. We got Marika coming in from Montreal, Quebec. Welcome in. Great to see you here. We've got I Stand My Ground coming in once again, member of the Patriots Club from Camrose, Alberta. Princess Thickness gracing us with her presence from Montreal once again. Welcome in. We got the Celtic Canuck joining us. It's great to have her in here. You guys get ready. She's coming back with some lives. You're going to want to check her out. She's amazing. Who else do we have jumping in here? Who else? The Vinyl Collector coming in from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We've got Singham coming in from Victoria, BC. We've got Stinger coming in from Glanbrook, Ontario. Once again, Just Me is coming in from Florida. Love our American viewers. Welcome into the stream. We got a lot to talk about America tonight, let me tell you. Mike with the LFGs tuning in from Cochrane, Ontario. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Mike from Halifax. OCD from Vaven, BBC. We've got Patty coming in from Pembroke, Ontario. We got White Pyro coming in from Brantford, Ontario. We got Vancouver Island Hippie Chick. It's her first time. Welcome in. Nobody forgets your first, but we'll go easy on you. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Gina from Saskatchewan. We got HUD coming in from Toronto, Ontario. Peggy from Central Saskatchewan. Rhonda Croswell from Red Deer coming in. We've got Errol coming in from Calgary once again. We got Dwayne from Cambridge, Ontario. We've got Ange coming in, sending love from Huntsville, Ontario. Great to have you in here. We've got Rob joining us once again from Fort Capel, Saskatchewan with the LFGs. Welcome in. We got Taylor coming in from Macklin, Saskatchewan. It's great to have you in here. We got Garnet coming in from Rosetown, Saskatchewan as well. Political Junkie coming in from Oyama, BC. Sue coming in from British Columbia. We've got Crypto coming in from Welland, Ontario. PJDG coming in from Halifax, Nova Scotia. In the house. Stephen coming in from Iderton, Ontario. We got Fern coming in from Medicine Hat. We've got Grendel coming in from Lund, BC. Calgary coming in from Southwest Saskatchewan. Feels weird saying that, but welcome into the stream. Member of the Patriots Club. We got Carla coming in. Alan and Carla actually from Creston, BC. Doug coming in from Terrace, BC. Got David coming in from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. We got Jason. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Coming from Boyle in Northern Alberta. Great to have you guys here. Mike TV Dub joining us from good old Winterpeg is a balmy -21. That's okay. Winnipeg, my hometown. Gotta love it. Miss everybody back there, but it's great to have you in the stream. Mike, George from Windsor, welcome in. Elena coming in from Hamilton, Ontario. We've got Resonate coming from New Brunswick. Paul with the LFGs from Red Deer County. We got Prep Rebel Actual coming in from Southern California, originally Victoria. Great to have you in the chat. Shout out to our American viewers. Cold Feet coming in from Calgary. We've got Clemens coming in from Orangeville, Ontario. Great to have you in here as well. Lisa saying, thanks for what you do. Thank you for what you do. Thank you to everybody who's joining us in the stream right now. Again, we're sitting at roughly 250 strong viewers in the multi-stream. Make sure to get those thumbs ups in here, guys. Again, I know it's a late night stream. We had a really big video drop today, a really wonderful idea coming out of the old fringe that I want to talk about tonight in greater detail because there was a little bit left out of that video that I probably should have been a little more clear, but I was so excited to get the information out that sometimes it just trickles past you. It's not too often we get good news here on the streams. We'll have to jump ahead of the roll call. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. It's great to have each and every one of you here. Again, happy stream. We're going to have a good time here tonight. So grab your popcorn, sit back, grab a drink, get some Jack Daniels or your preferred drink, and let's have some fun. Gotta hydrate. Let's get into what's happening here with Justin Trudeau's half-assed non-resignation. Now, a lot of people calling it a non-resignation. People saying he's still here. He intends to step down. His words are to be taken carefully. Guys, I know all the doomsday stuff. I know all the words. He's going. He's going. The way I'm looking at it, and you don't have to, but the way I'm looking at it is a W is a W. They're beginning the selection process for a new leader. Parliament isn't moving. We have no government, no functioning government in this country. No bills can get passed. Nothing can be done. The title of Prime Minister, though it's insulting that it still sits with Justin Trudeau, at least until March, it's just a title at this point. It doesn't mean anything. He's done. He's crippled. He has no ability to move forward. Get your viewers up to 300 and I'll grab 25 memberships, says Myron. Wow, there's a good one, guys. The multi-stream says 295 right now. I don't know what we got to be at, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. Hit those thumbs ups, folks. And maybe you'll luck out with a free membership to the Patriots Club tonight. Great to have you in here. Now, while they're selecting their new leader, we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that because we actually have the ability to select a new leader. John saying, I just watched your convoy video and became a Liberal member. Now I have to decide who to vote for. There we go. We're going to get into that. If you look over here, liberal.ca/register. Now, I talked about this on our latest video. The problem when you want to get a membership with a political party is that typically you have to donate to that party. There's a fee to become a member. Now, I've done a little bit more digging since putting out my video. It turns out that if you are a member of another federal political party, you cannot hold a membership legally to the Liberal Party. They want only members within their party that do not hold membership anywhere else. So normally you can hold multiple memberships. I know provincially in Alberta you can. I guess when it comes to federal, the Conservatives don't want you having more than one membership, nor do the NDP or the Liberals. So if you don't yet have a membership, it is free to join the Liberal Party, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a lot of people in the comment section of that video were saying, I'm not signing up. I'm not doing nothing. Some people missed where I said it's completely free. Justin Trudeau made a huge, huge error, huge mistake when he changed the rules to allow virtually anybody to become a member of the Liberal Party of Canada to have their say by making it free. It is 100% free to do so. What's the bonus to that? Well, could be his downfall. What I propose today, what I am talking about, now I will never say who you should vote for. I will never tell anybody who to vote for. However, wouldn't it be karma? Wouldn't it be fate? Call it whatever you want, that all of a sudden there's a leadership race and carbon tax Carney is sitting at the helm, poised to take his seat, and a small fringe minority swooped in and placed their votes. Since, of course, if you're members of the federal Liberal Party, you're allowed to vote in the next leader. And suddenly somebody with the caliber of, say, Mark Garrettson or Anita Anand was dubbed the new Prime Minister of Canada, while guys like Mark Carney are told to walk, Chrystia Freeland is told to walk. They can't continue their plans or agenda to try and defer Pierre Poilievre's seats. Wouldn't it be funny if we were to just band together and pick the best of the worst in that vote? Just to, not because I'm up for sabotage, not because I want to ruin elections, but wouldn't it be Justin Trudeau's comeuppance? To finally see them get screwed with, to finally see the tables get turned on them, to be told, oh, I really hate how there's no way out of this political problem for us. I really wish there were better rules to protect us, like we've been saying for the last 10 years. I think it would be great if we could do that. Derek might not tell you who to vote for, but I will. Join me in joining the Liberal Party and voting for Trudeau to run in the upcoming election. He's the best of the worst, says Joe. There is rumor that Justin Trudeau will still run in that. And now think about that, folks. Think about it. I know Rob's saying Northern covered the reasons that the court challenge is going on. I've got a video coming out about that tomorrow. Keep your eyes open. The JCCF is going to court against Justin Trudeau's proroguing of Parliament. We're not here to talk about that tonight. We will be talking about that tomorrow. Think about this for a second. Everybody, including myself, said that I don't want to see Justin Trudeau step down. I want to see him remain leader of the Liberal Party. I want to see Justin Trudeau get absolutely pummeled in the next election and have to walk away. Wouldn't that be the best ending to this legacy? If Justin Trudeau runs? That while only, 12% of the country approves of him currently, and 70% of his party roughly wants him to stand down and leave, that all of a sudden he has a massive wave of votes telling him, nah, you get to stick around. You get to go through in the next election, sir. You get to represent the Liberal Party as it completely dissolves itself and goes into non-party status. I'm talking about trolling here. If they're going to be so stupid as to leave it open that it is absolutely free for anybody who has not already joined on to a political party as a member to jump in and just give your vote as to who the next leader should be, wouldn't it be great to throw a stick in that bicycle wheel? Heartsinger with a $13.99 super chat. Fatal flaw with this plan. Watch the producers, could backfire on you. Also, the swamp is real. Those who actually control everything, any puppet will do. Fair enough. But what you realize about that site and what you realize about when you become a Liberal member, and I want to put this out there, there's access to information. That's legal. There's a reason you have to register your name, your address, your phone number. They have to document every vote that came in and who it went to. You're free to check if your vote was counted when this is done. That would be possible, Derek. He would be vindictive to those MPs that slighted him. We don't want Mark Carney, carbon tax Carney, coming in. Here's the warning, because I've seen a lot of people in the comment section of that video chiming off and saying, I'm not going to put my name on a Liberal thing. I don't want my name on it. This isn't about joining the Liberals, guys. This is about having our opportunity to stick it to the Liberals, to stick it to the Liberal Party of Canada for everything they've done to us over the last 10 years. Myron coming through with 20 unacceptable fringe gifted memberships. Wow. Myron following through with the promise. Thank you. Wow. Very generous. Welcome to all 20 of our brand new Patriots Club members. We had almost 100 memberships gifted on the last live stream. So this is 120 in less than a week that we've added to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. Prep Rebel Actual. YouTube is blocking me from donating to your site. I am pissed. Prep Rebel Actual, if you click on the description down below the video, there's a link to Buy Me a Coffee, which actually I get to keep more of the proceeds if you donate over there, aside from YouTube's usual cut. So you're free to donate over at buymeacoffee.com. The link again is in the description. Feel free to do that there. Again, I appreciate that. I never ask for it, but I appreciate if you're going to. John, Mark Carney is very bad. Do not put him in. We need a backbencher. Absolutely. Is Randy still running for office? And vote him in. That's here's my terrible bubbles. It's we're talking about a troll here. The greatest troll. There you go. Mike TV Dub putting up that link for Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Randy's fired. They're all fired. If we do it like Donald Trump, I was hanging around in Parliament. I was talking to all the liberal parties. They're all fired. They're all coming in. They're being told it's over. It's over. Pack your bags. Get out. You're fired. Doing my little dance as I walk down the road, talking about taking over Canada. Get free liberal memberships. Vote anybody but Carney. That's essentially what we're talking about here. Is having our say as to who is going to implode the Liberal Party. A lot of people didn't get that video. A lot of people didn't get what we were talking about in that video. Again, people saying, oh, I'm never going to put my name on a Liberal list. I'm not going to give them my information. Come on. Put your pride aside for a second here and think about the lulls. The lulls, everybody. Remember, previous leadership race, Trudeau only won by 70,000 votes, or with 70,000 votes. It was 80,000, but yes. Yes. That's all it's going to take. Vote for Jennifer O'Connell. She's useless. They're all useless. But think about like Chrystia Freeland, Mark Carney, all the big heavy hitters that are still left. The people that think that they're going to turn things around are going to be so poised to think, we got this in the bag because it's just Liberal Party members that are voting. It's not going to be a big deal. And then all of a sudden, this small fringe minority just swoops in and says, nah, pack your bags, get your shit, leave, you're done. Anita Anand is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. or Mark Garrettson, or any of these useless tools are going to hold the title of PM from March till whenever an election is called. And they're going to have to debate Pierre Poilievre alongside Jagmeet Singh. I'm laughing just thinking about it. But if Trudeau was narcissistic enough to run in this leadership race, then let's put him in. Let's put him up against Pierre. Because all this vote would do is prop up his ego. He'd say, Canadians voted for me. They want me to run. And then he's going to go and get smoked. Like, how does anybody see this as a bad idea? Myron with a $5 super chat. Careful what you wish for. See the NDP in Alberta? If you vote in jest, you will get what you don't want. But that's the thing, is that people voted in jest with that. So let's use that as an example, because I was in Alberta when that happened. I'm still in Alberta, but let's use that as an example. When our provincial election was going on, a lot of people were fed up with what was called the Conservative dynasty. The Conservatives had been in power in Alberta since roughly the 1970s, I believe it was. And it was Jim Prentice running against Rachel Notley, the sheriff of Nottingham. Rachel Notley was coming out of the NDP. NDP didn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of getting an election. Now, there is woke people in Edmonton that decided they were going to vote there. Thank you, Mitch. 1972. They were in power since 1972. You've got Jim Prentice running against Rachel Notley. And Jim Prentice, he campaigned, he debated, gave it a half-assed job because he thought he had it in the bag. And a bunch of Albertans, and I remember them talking. I remember when I was at work and people were talking, I'm going to vote NDP just to send them a message. I'm going to send them a message. And people in Alberta thought nobody's ever going to vote for the NDP. And before you know it, Rachel Notley got in, and we had 4 years of crap because a bunch of people didn't organize properly, saying, well, you vote for sending a message, I'm going to vote the way we need to. You know, we wanted to lower the Conservatives' expectations, but we didn't want to run them out, which is why as soon as those 4 years were done, the NDP were kicked out. Now the NDP think they have another chance in Alberta. It's never going to happen. But this, Mitch says it was a protest vote that backfired. It did, but this is where I'm saying we have 2 months to organize. The new Freedom Convoy, right? We talked to the YouTube mafia, right? Talk to Northern, we talked to the pleb, we talked to everybody. Everybody with these larger channel numbers, even the smaller ones. Anybody with influence. Once we know the candidates that are running, we all band together and say, we're not going to tell you who to vote for, but if I were voting in this leadership race, this is who I would vote for. And before you know it, ladies and gentlemen, we can run the numbers. You think about these channels that have 130, 150, 170,000 subscribers, thousands of viewers. And if we can get a very large majority of those people, social media, through friends, through whoever, just to go online, register, get your membership, your free membership, and let's have a laugh for once. Let's just ruin their day. If we have a consensus of who to vote for, we'll have a more powerful vote. Well, that's why I'm saying we take these 2 months, January, February, to look at the candidates. Let's look at who's seriously running on that ballot. And again, we get updates on the channel. This is why I keep saying, if you haven't subscribed yet, you should subscribe. Make sure to subscribe. We update the channels. We update our communities. We update Discords. We update wherever we are. We band together as one. I've always said all of these channels, whether it's Moose on the Loose, Northern Perspective, Unacceptable Fringe, The Pleb, Jasper Sunshine Baby, whoever, we're all in the same boat. We're on the same team. This is the time that we use that power that's been bestowed upon us by those who are interested in politics to band together and just flip the Liberals on their heads. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice for us to chant in the streets that we won for 5 seconds instead of emergency acts being put against us? Instead of them turning around saying, oh, we found another loophole, we got you. Wouldn't it be great if for once we used their stupid laws against them and won? Derek, I love how you shout out the other streamers, says Curtis. We're in the same boat. We're on the same team. I'm not in competition with anybody. We all have the same goal. We want a better Canada. At least I do. I don't know about them. I think, but if you think about the Freedom Convoy, it'll never happen again. It'll never happen in the likes of the way it happened again. But this was something that organized in a couple of weeks. And look how huge it was. We have one of the greatest things, one of the greatest tools at our disposal here, social media. I've always said that I'm very blessed to have this community. I'm very gracious to have this audience. Every time I go live, every time I put out a video, everybody who supports the channel, everybody who's in here in our large fringe majority here at the Patriots Club. But there's a reason we've been given these numbers. There's a reason people have come to us. We are the media now. So let's back each other. I talked about this when I was streaming Justin Trudeau's half-assed, I don't even know what it was. It was not a resignation. 500 in here, 20 more memberships. If we get 500 in here, jeez, Myron, that's very generous. Invite your friends. There you go. Let's get 20 more people in here. Another 20 memberships going out, folks. If you want a free Patriots Club membership, hit that thumbs up. Let's get some more people in the stream. Yeah, I know. See, John's saying he intends to step down. Intends. He's still cut off at the legs. He's still not able to do anything. It's a title at this point. He can't do anything. I want to see him get destroyed in an election. And if he runs, as Rajan says, we're the voice. So let's give Justin what he wants. If he wants to run for leadership, let's give him what he wants, ladies and gentlemen, a crushing defeat. And if Justin is smart enough to not join into that, to not put his hat in the race, to run for leader, I don't think he will if Carney does. Then let's just vote the stupidest, least qualified person. I know everybody says, well, Justin Trudeau was, but let's vote the second stupidest, least qualified person that isn't tied to Chrystia Freeland, that isn't Mark Carney, that's a backbencher, that's somebody who just wants to put their name out there. Mark Holland, Anita Anand, any of these people that run, not Jolie. I don't think Melanie Jolie will be the one that we want to go. He can still do OICs to destroy Canada. There's a lot of what ifs in here. There's a lot of what ifs in here, but this is where I'm saying that when you look at our federal elections, when you look at how our country is governed, how our electoral process works, we get the raw deal on everything. We really do. And a lot of voters usually don't turn out. And I had that feeling when I put this video out, when I read the comments section. And I saw a lot of people saying, I'm not going to bother. What's the point? Why do this? Those are the reasons we're in this situation. Is it not? Those are the reasons we have these problems, because we just refuse to get off our butts and do 2 seconds of work, especially at this point where we can totally flip the Liberals on their head, to scramble, to dissolve, to turn to non-party status. You should highlight that once 25% tariffs come in, the Liberals will go after Trump and also attempt to pin Pierre on Trump. Like, will people buy it? No, they won't. Thank you for the $6.99 super chat, HUD. No, they're not gonna buy it. Nobody's buying anything they're shoveling anymore. You don't understand. The last polling numbers before Trudeau's supposed resignation, his half-assed attempt at speaking to Canadians, was that they were going to projectedly win 2 seats. 2. Nobody's buying what they're selling. Nobody believes Jagmeet Singh. Nobody cares. I think we have bigger problems with Donald Trump right now than what the Liberals are going to do. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Trudy now self-identifies as a prime minister. There you go. The problem, if we get off of this topic for a minute, we'll get off this topic. We'll come back to it. Don't worry. We'll skate back to it. I do want to highlight one thing to make everybody laugh. If you didn't see it on social media already, out in Langley, BC, this Dairy Queen, spotted in Langley, Dairy Queen is offering $2 burgers to celebrate the resignation of Justin Trudeau. I mean, this is awesome. Now, you got to remember that these are franchise restaurants. They're privately run. A lot of lefties were losing their minds over this. They're saying, why would people disrespect the prime minister? Why would that happen? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Look at this. Look at all the people here enjoying themselves. Look at the drive-thru. I've never seen it so busy. 25 minutes in the drive-thru, somebody says, in order to go through the drive-thru in Langley, BC. Doesn't this tell you where our country is at? Doesn't this tell you how fed up we are? 25 minutes to get a $2 burger, and people are willing to wait in line just to show a middle finger to Justin Trudeau. So think about for a second, if people are willing to wait 25 minutes in a lineup to get a $2 burger to give Trudeau the finger, wouldn't it be great again to band together and flip him on his head with this vote? To ultimately ruin Mark Carney's plans or Chrystia Freeland's plans to run for prime minister? Because keep in mind, that if they get that vote, if Mark Carney gets that vote, he will be titled prime minister until the next election, because Justin Trudeau will be stepping down and Mark Carney will be appointed the interim prime minister. Wouldn't it be great to shut that down for him? I don't know if you knew this, but Mark Carney apparently is tagged to Ghislaine Maxwell. I pointed that out in my video. There's photos of him with her. I wonder how many times he's been to the island. John saying this is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great. We're going to get onto this subject, and I want to highlight this comment. We won't be able to escape Trump. He has his eyes on Canada. He'll find a way for us to become the 51st state. Watch and see. So I've been saying on the show for a long time that I firmly believed that what Donald Trump was doing was a joke. I thought he was trolling Justin Trudeau. Now, you have to understand that the reason that we're in the position we're in right now, the reason that Justin Trudeau even attempted to give his resignation, whatever it was again, the whole reason this started is because Donald Trump has what's dubbed the Trump effect. He knows how to control economies. He knows people's weaknesses. Why? Because he's not a politician. He's a shrewd businessman. He knows when to buy low, sell high. Now, Trump, the minute he was elected, you heard Gaza talking about all the Hamas holes, talking about settling peace. Myron with $5 super chat. Hit the like button. The more you do, the more people will find the stream. I appreciate that, Myron. Thank you for the $5 super chat. The Hamas holes were talking about peace. They were talking about slowing down what they're doing because they know that daddy's home. They can't play around anymore. Joe Biden's not sleeping in the Oval Office anymore. He's not having his nap. Trump's here. Stop it. As Peter Griffin says, hey. Stop it. Just stop it. Okay? Yeah, all right. You heard about Ukraine and Russia talking about, you heard Putin saying, I'm willing to come to the table. I'm willing to start talking about peace deals because he knows Donald Trump's going to destroy him. The same thing happened in Canada with Justin Trudeau. He starts making fun of Justin Trudeau. He starts calling him the governor of Canada. He starts cutting his jokes. I thought this was a joke. I thought it was just a good old-fashioned troll to show his dominance. This was him showing Canada that he cares about this country and wants to push this government out of office. Now, of course, Donald Trump comes in, I'm going to put in a 25% tariff. It's going to be wonderful. I've put in a lot of tariffs. I've put in tariffs at all kinds of places, but none like this, believe me. My tariffs are going to be so big and so huge, they're going to take all Canada's money. It's going to cripple their industry, and then they'll become the 51st state. Now, Donald Trump again today has been on a rampage to the point that I sat with my wife tonight and we watched his press conference talking about Greenland, talking about Panama. But he mentioned a lot of good points about Canada that has me very concerned that this isn't a troll anymore. We all knew that Donald Trump does not want to work with Justin Trudeau. We know that he sees us as weak. I mean, we're a joke on the global stage. But essentially what we have now to worry about is that Trump is giving me the vibes, at least. He doesn't want to work with Pierre either. He was talking today at his press conference. We'll have some fun. I'll do it in the Trump voice. He said, Justin came down to Mar-a-Lago. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about cars. I said, if we didn't buy your cars, if we didn't subsidize you the way we subsidize you now, what would Canada do? He says, I don't know. We'd dissolve. Canada would dissolve. They'd turn into nothing. He's playing warfare with us, financial warfare. Trump has said, we don't need their lumber. We have lumber. We don't need their cars. We make them in Detroit. Buy American. We don't need their dairy. It sucks anyways. Essentially what Trump is going to do, or what he's talking about doing, is completely bankrupting this country and not subsidizing it so that we're worthless. And then he can swoop in and try to secede Canada into the United States. Now, if you told me economic pressure, there you go. That's a better way to put it. USA actually does have enough oil for 50 years. I'll be completely honest with my viewers because I usually try to be. I thought this was a joke. I thought it was all a joke from the beginning. I was laughing. If you go back on our live streams, anytime I'm sitting with Mrs. Fringe, I'm always going, "Oh, I'm going to be the 51st state. We're going to take over Canada. It's going to be great. We're going to make Canada great again." This is terrifying. While I welcome the benefits of becoming American, i.e., lower taxes, our dollar would be worth more. We would be a powerhouse. You think about if if Trump bought America or bought Canada or annexed Canada and Mexico at the same time. Somebody said Canada, US, Mexico, we would be the nation of cum. CUM. Canada, US, Mexico. Between our oil and gas, between our manufacturing, between everything that we do, this country would be the richest country in the world by a landslide. We would be the largest country in the world by a landslide. Trump needs our oil because most of their oil refineries are actually based on our bitumen, says Myron with a $5 super chat. That's very true, and a good way of looking at it. But I've already said that, when you look at Keystone XL, when you look at everything that's happened, even though that was put on hold by Biden, I think Danielle Smith is going to be able to renegotiate Keystone with Trump. I think he's very eager, again, because of the bitumen. We weren't getting a good deal on Keystone. Trump was getting the deal. We were selling him our oil in return, buying it back for double the price. What we were gaining was jobs. We were gaining drills in the ground. There was a lot, and yet so little. PTR saying, we're not in this mess because people didn't vote 4 years ago. We're in this mess because the Liberal NDP coalition ignored our vote and seized power. There you go. Gogo Donnie with a $5 super chat. Trump is planning to react to BRICS. They're making huge gains, but he needs us to do that. An economy war with us would be financially fatal. Absolutely, it would be. And that's exactly what's going on here. It's all part of globalization. Things could change. I mean, do you guys believe at this point that it's very possible that we could be Americans within the next year, 2 years? Am I the only one who thought that it was a joke up until today? Because I was quite taken back. Marika saying, I don't mind having shovels to protect myself. If you missed that video, there was a man comparing firearms to shovels because we get censored on online platforms for using the word pew pew. So we started calling them shovels. Collapse is the goal. How do you people still not see it? Kaylin saying, I hope so. Les saying, anything is better than what we have now. There, one in the chat for yes, folks. Let's throw ones in the chats. Let's see how many people think we're going to become American. I mean, here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with becoming American. I'm a Canadian. I don't like Justin Trudeau. I don't like what he's done to this country. I don't like the state of our country. I don't like our open borders right now. I don't like that we're being replaced with shady immigrants. There's a lot of things I don't like, but at the end of the day, my passport says Canadian on it. It says Canada. I am a proud Canadian. My flag is red and white. Allison chiming in, right? We have no military. It's woke. Trudeau dismantled it all. This is it. Look, whether it happens or not, this should be a massive wake-up call for any government in the future to know that what we have here is penance for being the biggest joke on the world stage and allowing a clown to run our country for 10 years. This is what happens when you put a drama teacher in charge of the country. Goko with a $5 super chat. What part of no does Trump not understand? The N or the O? It's both. He doesn't understand them either. He's never heard no. I don't like no. No is a stupid word. I don't want you guys eating dogs and cats. Mike with a $5 super chat. Mike, I'm not going to say the last name. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I saw a P in there. I thought it was a troll joke. Sorry, Mike. My bad for jumping the gun there. We shut off fresh water going into America, and the tariff, it plus the hydro uranium too, shut it all off our natural resources. The problem is America could get things elsewhere. They could figure it out. Those things aren't going to cripple them. I'm telling you right now, from an economic warfare stance, we have no ground to gain here. Yeah, I thought it was like a IP standing type thing. Sorry, Mike. My bad. Let's be honest, the libtards destroy the entire country economy and divided the country entirely. It will take a minimum 2 generations to fix it. It will. But that doesn't mean we should quit. Does it? I would have more hope if we have the election yesterday. We were screwed because our economy, military, culture, currency, and our morale is shattered. And that's part of the problem, isn't it? Thank you for the super chat. HUD for the $2.79 super chat. Would slimy Castro enact the Emergencies Act? It doesn't matter. Who's gonna fight the Americans? Who's gonna stop them? Like, people could literally just walk in and take whatever they want. I mean, Kim saying Elon Musk is seemingly supportive of PP. He is, but the problem is that you can tell by Trump's statement. You have to think about this from a business standpoint, not a political. Donald Trump is a businessman. He's looking at a company, meaning Canada, that is worth trillions. It's just being managed improperly. So what he is saying is I'll cripple them, buy low, sell high. I'll swoop in there. I'll take what's necessary. We'll put all their stuff to work. We'll get all their resources into the ground going. We'll get our exports going out. We'll stop the ships from coming in and spying on us. We'll strengthen our borders. We'll do all these wonderful things. We'll make Canada great, and it'll be part of the United States. You should be more concerned with China coming in. They're already here. They're already here. They have police stations in Canada. They've been here for 10 years. I don't know if you know this, but there were 11 MPs, which still, by the way, haven't been named in the House of Commons, that are tied to Chinese interference. China's already here. What do you think we're dealing with right now? Trump knows Canada is at a weak point and will try to monopolize the situation. Again, that's what any businessman does. Think about people who buy companies. Think about people who buy businesses that invest in big. Donald Trump's done it his whole life. A company comes in and says, look, we got a great product, but we're struggling. And they come in and say, okay, but we're going to buy you for pennies on the dollar and we're going to gain the profits. That's exactly what the US is going to do. They're talking about buying Canada and making money off our backs because our governments don't want to. You think about that. Our manufacturing, our resources, our farmland, uninhabited land, by the way. Think about how densely populated Canada actually is, aside from its major cities. A lot of space. If you go through the United States, there is not as much space as there is in Canada. Reasonable assumption, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. You forgot about the incredible brain drain a depression would cause. It would be a disaster for decades after. Fair enough. Derek saying the art of the deal. Look, I went to business school and I did my thesis on the art of the deal. I know how this guy behaves. I'm telling you, what he said today was scary because, like I said, I've always goofed on the memes, the jokes, everything. But when he starts saying that when Donald Trump had Trudeau down in Mar-a-Lago and he said, what would happen? What would happen if we didn't buy your cars and subsidize you anymore? And Trudeau says, well, I don't know, Canada would dissolve. Yeah. He didn't have an answer for Trump. And Trump all of a sudden goes, they're weak. He sees we're showing him our cards. Myron, $5 super chat. I think all those banned shovels might change things. Never bet against us. Well, there it is. Until today, I thought Trump was joking. Trudeau purposely destroyed Canada and left us an open target. What are we going to fight back with? Bananas? I see it as a strong possibility. I still want to rule it out that it's not going to happen, because there would be significant pushback from our legal system, from our government, from whatever you want to throw in there. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be people who don't want to become part of America. But this is what happens when you put morons in charge of a business. Justin Trudeau thought about his pockets for a very long time instead of the people he was governed to look after. The people he was given a mandate for. I don't care if it was woke stuff. The guy had an opportunity to grow this country. Not that he was ever going to. Believe me, I'm not siding with him or saying he was ever going to. But as a prime minister, you need to look at your resources. You need to look at your GDP. You need to look at your output, and you got to run it like a business. And you got to say, what do we have that's beneficial to us? We have farm, we have manufacturing, we have oil and gas. Okay? How much oil and gas do we have? We're one of the largest in the world. Good. Start drilling. Get it to market. What else do we have? Liquid natural gas. Oh, good. Let's supply countries that need that as well. I'll tell you right now, if you had a prime minister who would have told Quebec to shove energy east, they're putting it in. And if Trans Mountain would have been built and Keystone would have gone down south, and we were fully taking advantage of our resources. I'm talking liquid natural gas. I'm talking about drilling. I'm talking about the full extent of what we're capable of. I'll tell you right now, the pandemic wouldn't have done jack to Canada financially. The gains on that alone would have propped up this country. And that's why Donald Trump wants it. You always ask why did George Bush, there was this great joke in Family Guy when they were talking about George Bush and Iraq. And well, they went after Saddam, right? Yeah. Well, why didn't they go after whoever it was? I forget it was, I think it was Osama bin Laden they were talking about. They said, why didn't you go after him? He goes, I don't know, because there was no oil. I mean, we're rich in it. We have one of the largest deposits in the world. That's attractive to anybody except the Arabs. It's all a manipulation to get people on board with globalization. I don't care what it is. It's a distraction. I like Donald. I like what Donald brings to the table. I don't like the idea of becoming American because I'm a Canadian. I like the benefits of becoming an American, but I'm a Canadian. That's not going to run. Kurt is saying we do have the best and largest uranium in the world, third largest oil, second most trees, again, when you go for the boreal forest, and most fresh water. You think about if you're ever playing like a game of Civilization or a game of Risk. This is valuable land. The joke ended. The joke's over. Like, I have a bad feeling Trump is serious. What Canadians need to be focused on right now is what's happening with Trudeau's so-called intent to resign. The JCCF, again, I'll have a video on it tomorrow. The JCCF going to court saying that what Trudeau is doing is illegal. Anything we can do to call an election. But I'll tell you, even if we had an election by March, Pierre became prime minister, I have a bad feeling that he would go to the table to try and negotiate with Trump, and Trump will just say, no, you're a loser. I don't want you. Look at guys. There's a lot of people that see through what we believe Pierre is going to get. Like, we look at the good things Pierre is going to give us. A lot of politicians outside of Canada, they look at the bad things that Pierre is going to give as well. A lot of people don't want to work with him. A lot of people are not supportive of Pierre's ideas. Does that mean he's going to be bad for Canada? Absolutely not. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying that I just don't feel that Donald Trump is going to work well with Pierre. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But I think what's happened here is that if we were playing a poker game, Justin Trudeau went to Mar-a-Lago, had a selfie at the table with everybody, with LeBlanc and everybody else, showed them our cards. They just showed them our cards. And Trump knows how weak we are. Look at our dollar right now. What's our dollar sitting at? Does anybody know? Let's take a look. What's the Canadian dollar's value sitting at right now? Did it drop below 70 cents? It's still at 70. December 21st, for a brief moment, it dropped to 56 cents. And then December 22nd, it went back up to 70. But it's gone 69.70, 69.70, 69.70 all the way through the last couple weeks. A lot of things we bring in from the United States. Can you imagine what we're going to be paying for that? Like, you start talking about a carbon tax, we start talking about, the carbon tax is, it's making things so expensive. It makes our fuel expensive. It makes our food expensive, our clothes and everything else, because it's the cost for the truckers to get it to the store and put it on the shelves. And look, we've all heard Pierre's ramblings about it. Think about if those products are coming in from the United States. Those guys deal in US dollars. They don't deal in Canadian dollars. What do you think the cost of food, clothing, our basic needs is going to be when our dollar continues to plummet? Stephen Guilbeault let Jasper burn to push his agenda. Well, that's the problem. This is where I've been saying all along. I've been saying it all along. If we're not going to become part of America, this is why we have to push harder against the Conservatives before the next federal election. We have to apply pressure. We have to ask them, what is your plan? What is your actual plan? People keep saying, well, they don't want to tell us their plan until it's time to go to the polls. And you should desperately want an answer right now. You should be mad that they're not telling you their plan. Parliament is shut down. Our government is non-active. Justin Trudeau does not have any cards up his sleeve. They should be out in full force telling us their plan. What is your plan to fix this country? To turn things around? What are you going to do about these tariffs? What are you going to do to make sure our dollar gains some steam, that Donald Trump doesn't decimate it? I'd like to see some kind of a plan. Will it work? Probably not. I'd still like to see the plan. Where's the plan? I've said it before. What is your plan with immigration? And people always attack me. Well, Pierre said what his plan was. He was going to deport. He didn't say who he was going to deport or how many. Again, I'll break it down for you guys. Temporary workers, illegals crossing over places like Roxham Road, or many people waiting on citizenship that came over here that we're not going to offer citizenship to anymore. Who are you deporting? All of them? Some of them? Just the ones that cross Roxham Road? Just the temporary foreign workers? Who are we deporting? Goko with a $10 super chat. Thank you again. Our country was taken from us without a single shot being fired. He's imported more than enough people who hate us and want to see us destroyed, and now they can vote. This dude has a plan. Just saying. I'm not saying he doesn't have a plan. But we have two things going on here when I'm talking about registering for the Liberals to vote which clown is in power. Moving forward, we need to be on top of that, but we also need to be on top of Pierre and the Conservatives. This is crunch time. I know people said to me, somebody put in my comments the other day when I was on live stream and said, well, Northern Perspective had Michael Barrett on the channel and they were talking about jail time for people and this and that. That was a softball interview. Of course, they're going to be softball interviews. Look, I've done softball interviews. We want to say things that are nice so that they come back on the channel, so that they talk to us. But I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested in making friends anymore. I've already told you guys, I'm reaching out to Stephanie Kusi. I'm reaching out to Garnet Jennis. I'm reaching out to any conservative MP that has either offered to be on the show or has been on the show before. And I will ask each and every one of them the hard question. What is your actual plan? Who are you deporting? How fast can we expect to see results? I'm not letting them off the hook, and neither should you. Nobody should, even if you like them, even if you're voting for them. I have a viewer who was in this chat who had told me about them going to a Pierre rally and that they couldn't believe how they were ordered around when it came time to take a photo with Pierre and everything else. And I said, this is the way they always behave. They're always worried about their optics. They're always worried about everything else. They're not worried about what we want. They have their plans. All of them. I'm not saying one individual. Keep in mind that I've said this about people's social media accounts. Pierre doesn't post on his Twitter. Justin Trudeau, I doubt, posts on his Twitter. They have people that do these things for them. They have managers. They have people who have a vision for the party. Pierre is merely told what to do to a certain degree, to a certain level. This is what's going to benefit your numbers. This is what's not. Don't talk to these people. Do talk to those people. We need to take this opportunity, this prorogue parliament opportunity, to put our foot down and start telling these parties, and pardon my French, that we're not fucking around anymore. That you either get it together or we're going to start championing 51st state. This is an abusive relationship we have in this country. We've been abused for 10 years. We either stand up for ourselves or we roll over and die. Goko with a $2 super chat. DEI should mean deportation effective immediately. Yes, it should. Thank you for the super chat. I know Resolute Ronan keeps saying it's all manipulation to get people for globalization. I get it. Mark with a 279 super chat. My vote is for Khalid. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. It's keeping Resolute Ronan's comment on the bottom. Sorry, Resolute Ronan, if you didn't put that in there. It's just keeping it at the bottom. Snatch has a great idea. Import of people who work against us with their in. Yeah. We need to start. We've left our country unchecked. We've the bleeding hearts that vote these people in, and I've talked about them to great extent. I've talked about people within my inherited family through marriage that have told me, "Oh, I voted for Jody Gondek to be mayor of Calgary because she's a woman. She's a woman. I just wanted a woman mayor." People who told me back in 2015, I voted for Justin Trudeau because I thought he was so hot. You don't vote like that. You don't vote like that. You vote with common sense. And that doesn't mean conservatives because they're using common sense. You look at their plan. Look at what they're telling you. Ask yourself, do I believe in this vision? Do I believe in what they're offering me? Is this going to benefit me? What's going to suit my lifestyle? And we didn't. We haven't voted like that. And people can't say, "Oh, it just is the way it goes." What is it? We had like a 30% voter turnout in the last election? 30% of this country. So 70% of us sat on our asses and just said, "Well, it's not going to happen." I'm so sick and tired of that. Don't we care? Don't we care anymore? 70% of us sat at home with our thumbs up our asses and then go to the internet and complain. Oh, Trudeau, Trudeau, Trudeau. You allowed it. People who say, well, I don't vote because it's just going to be the same turnout. It's just going to be the same old thing. They're going to cheat. It's going to be all these terrible things. And then it gets, but you didn't do it. At least if you did it, you could say, I still do it anyways. And hopefully one day the law comes for those guys. Hopefully one day this gets busted, but I still fulfilled my obligation as a Canadian and I went and voted. I had my say. Mike with a $5 super chat. Where's Britain in all of this in America? We need to abolish the UK government system parties. Also, we vote for ones who are placed there to vote for. Trudeau's major voting base was middle-aged women. Mike, thank you for the $5 super chat. I think I said that. If I didn't, my apologies. Thank you. Reg saying, don't be afraid to email your MP and voice your concerns. They won't answer you, but do it anyways. Flood them. Copy and paste the same email until they do. Every day. It's not that it takes 2 seconds. The first email will take you some time, then just copy and paste. Copy and paste, copy and paste every day. Do it every hour if you want to, until they get back to you. And if they say, oh, you flooded my email with all your cut and paste messages, well, you don't get back to me. You're my representative. I'll tell you right now, Stephanie Cousy, the first time I got her on this channel, I emailed her office. And I said, I'm in Calgary. I'd like to sit down and talk to you. And they said, we don't have time. I'm a big fan of your book, though. Just don't have time. I says, oh, is that so? And then I said to Stephanie Cousy, I live in your riding. I vote for you. If you want me to keep that vote for you, I would advise you come on my channel. Popped right in. These people need their votes. Keep in mind that when you're voting in the next election, you're voting in the next federal election, you're not voting for Pierre if you're voting Conservative. You're not voting for Max if you're voting for PPC. You're voting for whatever representative is in your riding. And we need to start telling those backbenchers, those frontbenchers, if they are, whoever they are, I'm not going to vote for you unless you give me some solid, good reasons. And if you don't fulfill your promises, enjoy your 4 years because it's over. I'll make sure you're out on your ass. And you will never win my vote back again. Not just you, but anybody in your party will never win my vote back again. I've been abused for too long. Quebec has too much power. Well, Jennifer, what Quebec needs to do is stop voting for the Bloc. Oust them. Again, what's the voter turnout like? It all comes down to that. Guys, it's very simple. God. Sorry, I hate to have to take a break like that. It's so dry where I am. It's very simple. I want to get through this comment first, and then we're going to get to what I had to say. Peterson interview gave me hope. Pierre told everyone to stay engaged, which is something a politician who is likely to get elected and wants to betrays voters won't say. Fair enough, but the whole world's a stage. I'm not saying Pierre's not going to fulfill what he's promising, but what I'm saying is that he's still going to do some things that piss you off. You're not going to be happy with everything somebody does 100% of the time. Will we have buyer's remorse? I hope not. I hope not. But it doesn't mean that I don't think Pierre is going to do the things he says he's going to do. The problem at the end of the day is they're all government. Conservative, NDP, Liberal, Green, PPC, they're the government. They're the mafia. They're the new version of the mob. I talked about it on the last stream. They're the mob. They just run around doing all these deals to benefit themselves. It's corrupt. It's the underbelly of our society. It's their playground. I said the same thing as Northern Perspective brought Michael Barrett on the channel to talk about jail, not bail, for these guys that are coming in that are withholding documents, that are failing to appear before Parliament and committees. Oh, we're going to slap them with a $50,000 fine. I'm so sure that guys that are getting multi-million-dollar contracts are going to be out of pocket paying a $50,000 fine. Why not? That's like you going into work and them saying you're 10 minutes late, you're going to give me $1. It's a very mild gesture. Why don't you start saying, if these people don't appear before Parliament and if they don't give us unredacted documents, they will be arrested. They will be thrown in jail. They will be charged with a criminal offense. Where's that? Where's justice? These are our dollars that they're doling those contracts out with. These are our dollars that are paying to put these bills in motion. Our dollars pay Michael Barrett. Where's sterner penalties? Where is a parliamentarian talking about abolishing parliamentary privilege? Why should parliamentarians be safe from the law? Why would you need that kind of protection if you're following the law? Let me clarify. We vote for people these parties want. We really don't. We don't really have a say. All these parties are backed by billions. NDP, Liberal, PCs. Charter obviously has no teeth. Look how we've lived. I understand. And thank you, Mike, for the $10 super chat. There it is. Where's accountability? Michael Barrett talked in his video about accountability. And I said in my video, criticizing that video, where is accountability? Because I don't see it. Where's the accountability for Justin Trudeau? A man who went from 9 million net worth to over 120 in 10 years. Wasn't from his salary, I can tell you that. It was the pandemic. Where's that accountability? I mean, you might as well have written the Charter of Rights on toilet paper at this point. Because that's about all it's good for. It's not good for us. It's good for the government. They use it when they want to. There's a good point by CB. They all take wage increase when it should be voted on. Wait and see what happens in February, even though Parliament is prorogued. They're going to take their wage increase as soon as they get back into Parliament. It'd be one of the first things they vote on. Ask Pierre Poilievre next time you go to a rally. Will you be taking your wage increase this year? See what he says about that. Well, he lives in his house that we pay for. Ask him if he's going to take his increase. I'm not trying to shit on Pierre, but ask. Do yourself a favor and ask. Ask Michael Barrett. Ask Randy. Ask Jagmeet Singh. All 338 of them. They will all happily take their raise. There it is. It's so frustrating because we're all here for the same reasons. We're all here because we want a better country. We want better laws. We want better bills that protect us instead of them. My question goes back to my plan to screw over the Liberals with their leadership race. Why do we refuse as Canadians to vote? Why do we refuse to get up and do our due diligence? Why do we refuse to get involved and sit at home with our thumbs up our ass and then complain for the next 4 years? Zenman with a $10 super chat. It's like the late George Carlin said it best. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Yeah. Yeah. He also talked about election. I'm going to get into voting. Curtis saying, make the government afraid of us again. Yeah. Because voting doesn't work. So what are we going to do then? Gail, what do we do? Just sit here and enjoy the shit show? 70% of us stay home in a federal election and we just enjoy the shit show? I don't know what to tell you. I don't like, I guess for me personally, I'd rather get up and say I've done something than sit on my ass and do nothing. If that makes any sense. I'd rather say I'm trying. I don't quit. But when it comes to new political parties, when it comes to incoming political parties that think they got it in the bag because their polling numbers are strong, because other parties are dissolving, because they're falling apart, that's when you got to start stepping in and saying, if you want that job, asshole, you need to start showing and backing a little more than slogans. I want a plan. Mike with a $5 super chat. I bet level 4 lab in Manitoba had something to do with the COOF. There's a reason why Trudeau doesn't want that report out. There's a reason they all don't want it out. George Carlin always said, I don't vote, because then when everybody says, I voted for this person and everything goes to hell, he can say it's your fault. You're the ones who did it. You voted them in. That's why I don't vote. They're all politicians. What George Carlin also said about political people are these are people who are taught by our schools on our education system. So that should tell you something about where we're headed as a country as well. Why don't we just dismantle the government if that's the case? You tell me how we can do that. You tell me how we can organize that. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people behind that. But nobody's going to go to war with the government. Nobody's going to grab their torches and pitchforks and go. Same reason you can't get people to turn up on voting night. They'll say, it's not my problem. It's not my problem. Nobody in this country will care enough until their job is lost, until their bank account is empty, until they have no choice but to go into a store and steal to feed their family. Nobody is prepared to do the hard work until their life is affected. They don't think about the bigger picture. They don't. I seen people during the pandemic, just to back that statement up. I'll get into that in a second. Goko, $5 super chat. Horse raises tail, politician open mouth, same thing happens. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. During the pandemic, I seen a lot of people going, I don't see why you just don't go out and get the jab. I don't see why you just don't do it. They want you to get it done. Whatever else, your job wants you to do it. I said, does your job want you to do it? Well, they haven't enacted anything yet. They haven't told me yet, but I'll tell you, if they told me to do it, if I want to keep my job, keep my paycheck, well, maybe that's the way it goes. And all of a sudden their office turned stance and they were told, you can't work here anymore unless you get the jab. And guess what they said? I'm furious. I don't want to put that in my body. I don't want to do all these things. Why should I have to do that? I don't want to put myself at risk. What happens if I have a reaction? What happens if something bad happens? Oh, so now you care because it's directly affecting you. Nobody is going to overturn the government until people are so desperate, so pushed back in a corner that they have no other option. That was the Freedom Convoy. That's how we got the Freedom Convoy. Truckers were told, do this or else. They didn't have any other choice. It was that or nothing. When you have a country full of people that say it's not my problem, you end up with a clown in power who goes to Mar-a-Lago, who shows his cards at the table, who shows a smart businessman that we are weak. And while our parliament is dissolved, while we have no functioning government, while we have a prime minister who is only in title, as they try to select another clown to try and desecrate this country even further, while another politician is talking about get me in so that I can fail at negotiating possibly with Trump. What else are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to look at this situation and say, well, we could be better, right? We can do better. I don't want to be negative. But at some point, we've spent 10 years pointing at Justin Trudeau saying it's all his fault. And it is. But at some point, we have to say the onus is on us as Canadians for allowing this to happen. The first step of that process is getting out and voting, whether you think it works or not. Could you imagine what an election would look like if they had a 100% eligible voter turnout, or at least like 80, 90%? Do you know how scared politicians would be if 80% of eligible voters went out and voted? You ever see scanners? The guy's head blows up. That's what it would look like. That's what every politician would look like. What worries me is the Islamist movement may swoop in while we have a vacuum. Of course they will. We're weak. Anybody wants to take advantage of us now, they will. Maribel, hello from Radisson. Thank you for all your hard work. We need an election soon. Why should Canadians wait for the Liberals to get a new leader? We shouldn't. And again, we're going to know as that court case plays out whether or not what Trudeau did is illegal, or whether a judge is going to want to hear it. Again, I'll have a video on that tomorrow. Problem is we're trying to do it peacefully, and things will stay the same that way. I know I've just sat here for an hour saying that we need to be more vigilant, that we need to, be more vocal, that we have to do our due diligence. I shudder to think what war against the government would look like. After seeing what happened to truckers in Ottawa, I'm fearful to see what would actually happen if we did that. Scary. Let's move on to Q&A. Shall we, ladies and gents? Let's wrap up with Q&A. Let's get off the negative. Let's try and have some fun here. Let's do some positive. Throw in your questions, even if it's about what we talk about tonight. I'll try and get to a couple of them. I'll try to get into some of them, and then we'll wrap her on up for the evening so that I can get content ready for you guys for tomorrow. Ask me anything. Throw it up in the chat. As long as it's appropriate, I will definitely get to it. Goko, they're openly practicing and enforcing SH law on our soil. I want to see action on that. I agree. It's scary. Do you think JT always had bad intentions for Canada from the beginning? Of course he did. He cares about Quebec, and he cares about his pockets, his father's legacy. He doesn't care about the rest of Canada. He doesn't. I don't believe there's one decent bone in that man's body. Could Trudeau become Governor General? I mean, I don't know the laws, but I don't see why he would bother. I mean, he's already said he was bored. I know some Smiths around Okotoks, really. No. All my family's in Manitoba. What did you eat tonight? What did I eat tonight? I'm on keto now. I'm back on keto. I did keto a long time ago, and it was great. I went back just after Christmas. I think it was just some ham and cheese. That was it. Small dinner. Thanks for asking. I didn't think that would be that interesting for people, but do you like hot peppers? No. If you were a member of the channel or a viewer of the channel back when we hit, I think it was 30,000 subscribers, I did the hot chip challenge. I won't be a fan of anything hot for a while. That one was brutal. I got through it, but that one was brutal. That was a fun time. Won't be doing it again. How is he not going to jail? Parliamentary privilege. Again, like I said, that needs to be abolished. If conservatives want me to take them seriously, they need to start talking about that. Because if they're going to follow the laws, then why should they need it? Gina, have you seen any auroras? The sun has been shooting energy at us like mad. I have not. I've mostly been inside because, again, I got a lot of things going on around the homestead. I'm going to try to get out and catch one of them. I've been told you can, no matter where you're at, you can see some form of it in the last little while. How can we protest for Pierre to negotiate with Trump? You can't. His people don't want him to because they don't want him to be associated with them. Again, he's got people that decide what he is and is not going to do. They don't want him anywhere near Trump. I'll be shocked if he goes near Trump at all before he's prime minister. What is your favorite bag of chips? I don't eat chips. I don't do that. I'm not a sweet tooth, and I don't do potato chips and all that. It's snack stuff. I'm not really a thing. Honest question is keto worth it? You know what? Is Peter Griffin in his voice as a fat guy? I can tell you, I liked keto because when I do veggies of any kind, I need to have taste. I'm a taste person. I like things to taste good, not like rabbit food. The thing about keto was that all you were essentially getting rid of was bread and carbs. You're still getting meat. You're still getting there's all these recipes out there that you can still have ice cream, which is like my Achilles heel. And you can make like natural peanut butter ice cream, all kinds of things. I think it works really good if you have the discipline to stay on it. If you get the flour to make certain breads or things like that, if you do need bread, it worked very well for me. I lost about 60 pounds in 6 months, roughly, when I went on it the last time. And I found it was the easiest diet to keep to, because the thing about a diet is that you have to stick to it or else you're going to gain as soon as you get off. It was a not necessarily a diet, but a new way of eating that I was satisfied with, because I got to keep a lot of the things that I like in my life in there. But yeah, if it works as long as you're committed to it. You know, to lighten the mood, could you do some Christopher Walken? It was a very good impression. Wow, you guys hanging around in the stream, enjoying my Walken. I'm flattered, really. It's crazy. Spiky Mikey, thanks for the question. Did you see Mark Zuckerberg? Apparently he's bringing back free speech. No, he's not. No, he's not. It's a ploy. It's just a ploy. It's a please come back to Facebook. I'm losing stock. It's not happening. Not happening. Politics aside, what is your favorite province? Oh, come on, Alberta. I live in Alberta. It's always got to be where I live. Like, I love Manitoba too. I grew up in Winnipeg. I love Manitoba. What's your favorite muscle car? 1969 Camaro. Would you like to hear about feedback from other channels? Or would like to hear feedback from other channels? I think that's what that's saying. I try not to get involved with other channels too much because a lot of controversy goes around with some of these channels. Don't want to do that. Mr. Clean, I like your channel. I like your comment. Thank you. Just figuring out what to eat tonight. Thanks for the input. I no problem. Let's let me see if I can find another question here. I know I got a little off when we were talking about things. Do you think Pierre will go to the inauguration of President Trump? No, I don't. Nope. I don't think he's going to do that. Okay, you're quite good at the impressions. I appreciate that. Yeah, I used to, when I was a teenager, going into young adulthood, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I always wanted to be a comedian. I tried it out for a while. Very difficult. So shout out to guys like Ben Bankus who can really rock that mic. But I always did impressions because I liked doing those. I could do them since I was a kid. And you got to have more cowbell. Being the cock of the walk, baby. Shane, thank you. Favorite video game? Donkey Kong. It's the first game I ever played. First game I ever remember playing as a kid. Will always be my favorite. You never forget your first. Sorry, I'm scrolling past the silly questions. Do you think there will be a Black Swan event before the inauguration? It's tough to say. I hope not. I really hope not, because nobody wants to see that. In this day and age, I'm never surprised when there is. Which arcade games behind you are your favorite? Oh, that's like asking which one of my kids is my favorite. That's a good question, but probably the Donkey Kong Jr. because it's an original. I had a lot of fun restoring that machine back to showroom day one condition. I'd have to say the DK Jr. or the pinball, the digital pinball. I like the digital pinball a lot. If Pierre goes to Mar-a-Lago and makes a deal, Trudy finds out, then sabotage that deal. He can't make a deal. He's not prime minister. They can shoot the shit, but they're not. What's the best restaurant in Calgary to get a great steak or pizza? Nick's up by McMahon Stadium where the Stampeders play. Still waiting for Foghorn Leghorn. I resent that remark. No, I can't do Foghorn Leghorn. I got a fever, and the only prescription is no Justin Trudeau. God, that was a terrible walking at the end there. It's more cowbell, baby. Cow. Did Alberta do anything? PM do anything about the borders? Yes, we've sent drones. We've stepped up our game because Danielle Smith is going to Trump's inauguration. She wants to show him we mean business. They're doing a lot. I almost did that like walking. They're doing a lot. They're doing lots at the border. It's crazy. Hanging around. Drones flying everywhere. Danielle Smith hanging around Donald Trump saying, let's get Keystone moving. Be crazy. Putting on oil. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the walk-in. My wife hates it. Can you do that guy from South Park? Mr. Backy? Yeah, you can do that. Drugs are bad. Okay. You vote for Justin Trudeau, you're bad. Okay. Don't vote for Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau's bad. Kaylee saying, I want to move to Alberta. Move to Alberta. Great province. Great province. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're approaching an hour and a half. Talking politics is crazy. We're going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you to all of our contributors tonight. Anybody who sent a donation over at Buy Me a Coffee, I'll have to check that after. I appreciate that. If you did, Heart Singer, Myron. I got a lot of Myrons here. HUD, Goko, Mike Enos, Suna, Soul Silver, Reasonable Assumption, Mark Toth, Zen Man. Thank you to all of you for your super chats, your gifted memberships, your support over the channel tonight. Thank you to every viewer who came in here tonight. Thank you to everybody who put a thumbs up on the stream. Check out the channel tomorrow. I'm going to have a great video talking about the lawsuit that's going on with, I almost said Donald Trump, the lawsuit going on with Justin Trudeau right now over his attempted resignation that flopped on its ass, just like his 10-year career. Keep your eyes peeled, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of great content coming your way. I'll keep putting them together if you guys keep watching them. Again, make sure to share out the video about getting together and registering for the Liberal Party so that we can all crush them and put an idiot in charge. Better idiot than Justin Trudeau, at least, or perhaps putting Justin in charge again to get decimated. It would be great either way to have some control in who they put on the podium next. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this stream. I hope you have a wonderful evening. With that, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Keep your stick on the ice. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.